At a class reunion, my boyfriend insisted on inviting his first love. I sincerely suggested that it wasn't appropriate since she wasn't our classmate. My boyfriend frowned, thinking I was being jealous. After a few days of a cold war, I relented. On the day of the reunion, we ran out of beer, so I went downstairs to buy more. When I returned, I saw everyone gathered outside the bathroom, watching my boyfriend and his first love being affectionate. Just when everyone thought I would get angry and make a scene, I started clapping and cheering. A hug isn't enough. Kiss, kiss. Chapter 1. Emily, you're being so petty. It's just a class reunion. The more, the merrier. Alex got angry with me for not wanting to invite his first love, Jessica. You do realize it's a class reunion, right? Was Jessica in our class? Upon hearing this, Alex picked up a cup from the coffee table and smashed it on the ground before storming into the study. I looked at the couple mug on the table, now missing its pair, and felt a chill in my heart. Alex gave me the silent treatment for 2 days. On the 3rd day, I compromised and agreed to his request. I was tired and didn't want to continue this draining conflict. I decided to break up with Alex after the reunion. I had made up my mind. For years, Jessica had been like a landmine buried between Alex and me. I didn't want to continue living with this landmine. The reunion was initially planned at a restaurant convenient for everyone. But the day before, Alex suddenly suggested having it at our place. Without consulting me, he posted in the group chat. Emily is great at cooking. Everyone should come to our place and taste her cooking. I was annoyed by Alex's decision without my consent. But since I was planning to break up with him, I thought of this as a farewell dinner and didn't object. On the day of the reunion, I was busy in the kitchen alone. A female classmate who was close to me spoke up sarcastically to Alex and Jessica, who were always together. Alex, your girlfriend is busy in the kitchen. Aren't you going to help her? Alex, trying to save face, said. Oh, cooking is a woman's job. Hearing this from the kitchen, I wasn't angry. I just silently made an extra dish, smashed cucumber with garlic. During the meal, Jessica deliberately caused trouble, complaining that one dish was too salty and another too spicy. Although there were plenty of seats, she insisted on sitting next to Alex. I sat at the farthest end from them. An outsider would think they were the couple. Halfway through the meal, we ran out of beer. I volunteered to go downstairs to buy more. The atmosphere was too oppressive, and I needed some fresh air. When I returned with the beer, I saw my classmates crowded outside the bathroom, pointing and whispering. I thought something had happened and quickly put down the beer to check. It turned out Alex and Jessica, having drunk too much, were hugging in the bathroom. Seeing me return, my classmates sensibly made way for me. I looked at their seats and saw they had only drunk 1 bottle between them. How could they be drunk? It seemed someone was using the excuse of being drunk to rekindle old feelings. Seeing this, I started cheering. Come on, kiss! Kiss! Hearing my voice, Alex instinctively pushed Jessica away. Jessica glared at me with displeasure. What's wrong? You can't kiss while I'm here. Should I leave? Alex, hearing the sarcasm in my voice, became furious and shouted. Emily, what do you mean by this? Chapter 2. I won't leave. I stayed, casually opening my tablet to work on my case. Alex and Jessica were still in the bathroom. Jessica provocatively stepped forward as if to close the door. As the door closed, everyone's eyes turned to me again. They were looking down on me, mocking me, reveling in my misery. Do I need to buy a green hat to satisfy your twisted pleasures? I laughed at them. Then, Jessica came out with a sullen face. But seeing me, she suddenly smiled. Alex is too reserved. I was just going to help him change clothes. Women should be persistent. Keep trying. I nodded at her. I could tell Jessica wanted to take Alex away from me. She always tried to provoke me, hoping I'd get angry and she could play the victim to Alex. Every time, I'd end up being scolded by Alex. But I suddenly found the case on my tablet more interesting than these petty relationships. Jessica, having failed to provoke me, was even more displeased and said sarcastically, "After all these years, Alex is still so enthusiastic, just like when we were students. If you miss it so much, why not relive the memories?" I smiled at her. She stood still, unable to speak. If Alex had agreed, would she have come out with a sullen face? Clearly, she had been pushed out. After a while, Alex came out in a new set of clothes. "Why not go to the study if you're so busy?" Seeing me focused on my tablet, Alex got angry again. "Sure." I stood up and headed to the study. "Emily, are you done yet?" Alex exploded, yelling at me. "Aren't you the one who told me to go to the study?" At the study door, I calmly looked at him. Given how well he knew me, he should have realized I wasn't angry. Maybe I was mistaken, but I thought I saw a flash of panic in Alex's eyes. "Then stay and drink with us." Alex pointed to the chair by the table. Then, he sat down. On his right was his buddy. He wanted me to sit on his left. Jessica immediately said, "If she sits there, where do I sit?" Alex hesitated, looking between me and Jessica. In the past, he wouldn't have hesitated and would have let Jessica sit beside him. An outsider would think they were a couple. But now, he was hesitating. Jessica is a guest. She can sit wherever she likes. I smiled and found a random seat to sit. Then we started playing a game, passing a card with our lips. Jessica deliberately dropped the card, kissing Alex on the lips. Jessica smiled triumphantly at me, while Alex looked pale. This was a public display of infidelity. Who could tolerate that? But why didn't I feel anything? Oh. I realized I no longer loved Alex. But I had to react, or people would think I was angry. Sitting next to me was Alex's buddy Tom, who was also very handsome, even more so. He started criticizing me, saying I was petty. Tom and Jessica seemed to have a history. Since Jessica returned from out of town, he had been matchmaking her with Alex. "Emily, you were petty before, and you still are. Haven't you grown at all? Alex and Jessica are friends. A kiss won't get anyone pregnant. It's no big deal. If it were me, I wouldn't mind such things." Tom started lecturing me. It was always like this. Whenever Alex and I argued, his friends would take turns trying to manipulate me. "Tom, are we friends?" I asked. He paused, then said, "Of course we are. We've known each other for years. We're good friends." "Oh." I suddenly leaned in, grabbing his head with one hand and kissing him. Unlike the brief kiss between Alex and Jessica, I kissed Tom for a while, even biting his lip. He pushed me away, blushing. Everyone fell silent, shocked by my unexpected behavior. "Emily, have you lost your mind?" Tom said in disbelief. I smiled at him. "We're friends, and we've known each other for years. A kiss won't get anyone pregnant. You said you wouldn't mind, right?" He was at a loss for words. Bang! I felt a sharp pain in my head. Turning around, I saw Alex with a beer bottle. He had hit me, but fortunately, he wasn't strong enough to seriously hurt me. "What's wrong?" I asked, confused. Alex pointed at me and then at Tom, gritting his teeth. "What are you doing? Friends kissing isn't a big deal, right?" I retorted. "Emily, you're so childish. You kissed Tom just to spite me." Alex scolded. I looked at him, exasperated. "But didn't you and Jessica just kiss? Tom said friends kissing isn't a big deal. Emily, you're in the wrong. Jessica and Alex didn't do it on purpose. You did. Yeah, you're so petty. Are you even a woman? You don't deserve Alex." His buddies turned their attacks on me. "I don't get it. Alex and Jessica kiss and it's fine, but when I do it, it's wrong. Am I not a person?" I told them. "Guys, don't be so hypocritical. It's meaningless." They were speechless. They had manipulated me countless times, but when I fought back logically, they crumbled. Alex stared at me for a long time, his eyes red, trying to suppress his anger. "Emily, you've let me down." Then he grabbed Jessica and headed for the door. Seeing that I didn't follow, he looked back in disbelief. "I'm not coming back tonight. I'm staying at Jessica's place," he told me. I nodded. "You've been drinking. Remember to call a driver." Chapter 3. Alex looked startled by my reaction. But he was too proud to back down. So he opened the door and left with Jessica. Jessica gave me a triumphant smile as if she had won. If I cared, she would have won. But I didn't care anymore. Everyone else left in small groups. Tom was the last to leave, sitting on the sofa, his 8-pack abs faintly visible through his shirt. He suddenly said, "Emily, it's good you've moved on. Alex isn't right for you. Maybe you could consider you?" "No way. If I don't care about Alex, why would I care about you?" I pointed to the door. "Goodbye. You." Tom took a deep breath but didn't get angry. He even smiled. "You're interesting. I'll hang out with you more." Then he left. I didn't bother cleaning up. Instead, I worked, showered, and went to bed. In a daze, I heard footsteps. I used to love Alex so much that I could recognize his footsteps. From the sound, I could tell how drunk he was. That's the proof of love to the bone. If it were before, I'd rush to take care of him. No, if it were before, I wouldn't be in the bedroom but waiting in the living room. Then I'd make him hangover soup and prepare foot wash. But now, I had no intention of taking care of him. I just wanted to sleep because I was tired. Before, no matter how tired I was, I always put him first. But now, I was tired, so I should sleep. Soon, I heard the bedroom door open. But he didn't come in. I knew he was standing at the door, watching me. But I didn't move. I couldn't find a reason to care for him. When I loved him, even his flaws would seem endearing. But now, even moving felt like a loss. I didn't know how long had passed, but I fell asleep. When I woke up, it was morning. Walking out of the bedroom, I saw Alex sitting on the sofa, staring at the bedroom door. "You're back." I greeted him with a smile. His eyes sparkled with hope, and he softly said, "Emily, I feel terrible from the hangover. My stomach hurts and I haven't eaten. So I said I'd call an ambulance." I casually replied. Alex glared at me, gritting his teeth. "Emily, are you asking for trouble? I'm giving you a way out, and you're playing dumb? Your so-called way out is having me serve you? Stop kidding, Alex. That's not a way out. I'm not your servant." Maybe I was his servant once because I loved him too much. But now, I didn't want to be a servant anymore. Chapter 4. After washing up, I grabbed my bag and headed to work. Alex suddenly ran to the door, grabbing my hand. "Emily, I really feel awful. My stomach hurts and I haven't eaten. So I said I'd call an ambulance." I looked at him indifferently. "Or you can call Jessica. Didn't you say she always takes care of you? Are you still jealous?" Alex's eyes lit up. I shook my head, sincerely saying, "I'm just giving you a good suggestion." With that, I removed his hand and left. Though I had always been diligent at work, my mind often wandered, thinking of Alex. But when I fully immersed myself in work, I found time flew by and felt fulfilling. Life without Alex was so relaxing and enjoyable. At lunch, I saw a photo posted by Alex. It was a picture of his hand wearing a couple's ring. It was his hand, but the ring wasn't the one I bought. I hadn't had a chance to give it to him yet. His caption read, "The best match might be right in front of me." Then I saw Jessica's post, showing her hand with the same ring. Although I was sure I no longer loved him, I still felt a bit uncomfortable. But this was good. If they were locked in, I'd be truly free. So it didn't affect me. If it were the old me, I'd have had a meltdown. After lunch, Tom sent me a message, Alex and Jessica are trying on rings." I ignored him and kept working. I worked late that night, securing a new case. Leaving the office around 9, I saw Alex's car outside. Technically, it was my car. I bought it for him to use, but he never bothered to drive me. When Jessica needed a ride, he'd go out of his way for her. Alex rolled down the window. "Get in. I'll drive you home." Jessica waved from the passenger seat. "Emily, you're so busy with work. Don't worry, I'll keep Alex company. Thanks a lot." I nodded and told Alex. "I haven't eaten. I'll grab a bite nearby. You two go home." Alex looked stunned, his face darkening. Jessica said, "Why didn't you say you hadn't eaten? Alex and I just had a meal at a couple's hotel. They're having a promotion, half off for couples." "Oh, you should have booked a room. Such deals aren't always available." I smiled indifferently and walked past their car. Alex got out, grabbed me. "How long are you going to keep this up? I'm not making a fuss." I calmly told him. "Even if you never cared much about me, you should know me well enough to see I'm not angry. If I were, I wouldn't be this calm, right?" Alex stood there stunned. "But why aren't you angry? Why aren't you making a fuss? No need." I answered matter-of-factly. Then I walked across the street to a food stall. The grilled kidneys smelled amazing. Alex shouted, "Emily, this is your last chance. Come back now, and we'll go home. If you don't, I'll book a room with Jessica at that couple's hotel. Okay? Remember to buy protection. They're expensive at the hotel." I nodded. Chapter 5. No one bothered me anymore. They drove off. I knew Alex and Jessica hadn't done anything, but I didn't know what was in his head. I couldn't accept emotional or physical infidelity. Cheating is cheating, regardless of the degree. I enjoyed my grilled kidneys feeling satisfied. I'd always liked such foods, but Alex didn't, so I pretended not to. For him, I developed an allergy to mangoes, almost desensitizing myself. But what did I get in return? Someone who loves you will find your quirks endearing. Someone who doesn't will see the world as a pile of crap, no matter what you give them. I've moved on, so I love myself. Back home, Alex wasn't there. Maybe they did book a room. It didn't matter. I didn't care. I showered, played a game, and worked. Balance is key. Before, I had no time for games. Even if Alex ignored me, I couldn't play. I had to devote myself to him. He could disregard me, but I couldn't ignore him, or he'd throw a fit. Now, I could eat and play whatever I wanted. Is this the joy of being single? After finishing my work, I went to bed. Alex didn't come home that night. In the morning, Jessica sent me several photos. They were from a hotel bathroom with frosted mirrors, showing Alex's muscular body. I had loved Alex so much that I could recognize him instantly. So they really did book a room. I felt a bit uncomfortable, having been together for 7 years. But I could accept it. I grabbed my bag and went to work. At lunch, I saw Alex in the cafeteria. Coincidentally, I was sitting with a male colleague, laughing and chatting, when Alex approached. My colleague, seeing Alex's hostile look, left with his tray. Alex sat across from me, pale and biting his lip, looking panicked. "I stayed at Tom's place last night," Alex said. I nodded. "Got it. You don't believe me? Emily, why don't you believe me? Why do you always doubt me?" Alex was agitated. I took out my phone and didn't show him Jessica's messages, fearing they'd argue. I wanted them locked in. So I showed him Tom's message. Alex asked me to lie, but he didn't stay at my place last night. He and Jessica booked a hotel room. "Emily." Alex's eyes filled with tears. "Sweetie, don't be like this. I really don't care." I smiled at him, pocketing my phone. "I'm showing you this so you know you don't have to lie to me. I already know, and it really doesn't matter. But Emily, nothing happened between me and Jessica. I sent her away. Alex insisted. I sighed. He was still lying. I had no choice but to open Jessica's messages. See for yourself. Chapter 6. Seeing those photos, Alex's face turned ashen. But he grabbed my hand very agitated and said, I took a shower and then kicked her out. I didn't know she took pictures. I told her to leave while I was in the shower. I didn't know she stayed. Seeing his expression, I knew he wasn't lying. When he lies, his habit is to get angry with me first, and his eyes would dart around. But I still pushed his hand away and calmly said, It doesn't matter because I really don't care. Why don't you care? He was scared, his voice trembling. You should care, Emily. You loved me so much. You never liked me going out with Jessica. How can you not care? You see, you always knew I didn't like you to going out. You knew you crossed the line, but you did what you wanted because you never cared about me. I shook my head and said, And now, just like you used to be, I don't care anymore. Emily, you can't not care. It's not right. You should care. His voice grew louder, attracting the attention of the people around us. I frowned and said, Don't make a scene. This is my workplace. I'm not making a scene, but you need to listen to my explanation. He held onto my hand, refusing to let go. Then wait until we get home. I didn't want our breakup to be a public spectacle. That would be pointless. Alex finally nodded and walked away, looking back at me with every step. After dinner, I quickly forgot about the incident because work was very busy. I stayed late, even later than the previous night. When I left the office, it was almost midnight. Then I saw Alex squatting at the company entrance, hugging his knees, looking very cold. Emily, you're off work? He ran to me, grabbing my hand, leading me to the car. As he walked, he kept talking. Emily, I've thought a lot. I've been neglecting you all this time. I never even picked you up from work. From now on, I'll pick you up every day. He even opened the passenger door for me himself. Looking at the seat that used to belong to Jessica, I felt a strong aversion. So, I opened the back door and got in. Bosses sit in the back. It's safer. Alex forced a pale smile. I said nothing, leaning back in the seat and closing my eyes. I was exhausted from working late. But some things need to be clarified, or they will just become more entangled. So, after he started driving, I said, Alex, let's not drag this out. It's time to clear some things up. Screech! Bang! The car swerved on the road and then crashed into a streetlight. Luckily, he hit the brakes hard at the end, so it wasn't too serious, and the airbags didn't deploy. Alex clenched his fists and said to me, Emily, you must be very tired. Go home and rest. I'll handle the accident. Alex, I'm begging you, Emily, don't say anything now. Wait until we get home, okay? Alex started crying hysterically. I sighed, got out of the car, and went home. About half an hour later, Alex returned, and Jessica was with him. Alex quickly explained. Emily, I didn't know who else to ask for help, so I had to. She took secret photos of you in the shower and sent them to me, and you still asked her for help, right? Sitting on the sofa, I couldn't help but find it amusing. It wasn't that I still cared about him, I just couldn't understand what was going through his mind. Chapter 7. Emily, you're jealous. You still care about me, don't you? Alex actually burst into laughter. Oh, so that's what's on his mind. He brought Jessica here on purpose, just to make me jealous. I was speechless and didn't want to say anything. But then Jessica suddenly rushed in and kicked me without a word. She kicked me in the shoulder, and I fell off the sofa. She straddled me, swinging her fists. Emily, are you even human? How could you leave Alex alone after a car accident? I grabbed the ashtray from the coffee table and smashed it on her head. She covered her head, her face and hands covered in blood. Emily, how could you hit someone? Alex came over to push me. I smiled at him and said, Where were you when she hit me? It's not what you think, Emily. I was afraid you'd hurt her, and she'd cause trouble at your company, or report it to the police. Alex quickly explained, seemingly not lying. Jessica, however, went crazy and charged at me. Emily, how dare you hit me? This is my home. If you continue to be violent, I'll defend myself, and it would be considered excessive self-defense at most. I said coldly, scaring Jessica into stopping. Then I looked at Alex and said, "Why don't we just deal with her? Then you can testify for me, and it would be ruled as self-defense. What do you think?" Huh? Alex was dumbfounded. Are you reluctant? I mocked him with a glance. Alex quickly shook his head. No, Emily, no. I just think it's unnecessary, and I've already decided to cut all ties with her. Then let's just deal with her. I continued. Alex actually hesitated, which shocked me. He seemed to be seriously considering it. Of course, I had no intention of doing anything drastic. I just wanted Alex to back off. Unexpectedly, he was quite crazy. Jessica got scared, gave us a fierce glare, and ran away. Now, it was just Alex and me in the room. It was time to discuss the real issue. I put down the ashtray, sat on the sofa, and said, Alex, does your face hurt? Your eye is bruised. Let me apply some ointment. Alex changed the subject again, acting nervously. Once you apply the ointment, can we have a proper talk? I asked. He nodded and then leaned in to apply the ointment. But suddenly, he grabbed my face and kissed me hard. I pushed him away, feeling disgusted. Alex, you've kissed Jessica. So now, kissing you feels like eating something vile. I coldly expressed my feelings. I thought such a proud person would get angry and break up with me completely. But he started crying again, holding my neck tightly. It's not like that, Emily. I didn't expect her to drop the act on purpose. She told me in the bathroom that she wanted to play this game to make you jealous, but she actually... There's no point in saying all this. I pushed him away and said, I really have no feelings for you anymore, Alex. Let's break up. Then I added, I bought this house. My parents also contributed money, and I'm paying the mortgage. So, I can't give it to you. But I can give you time to find a place. During that time, I'll move out. So, what do the past 7 years with you mean? He hugged my leg, refusing to let me go. So what do you want? Money? Fine, I'll give you half of the house and car's value in cash. I pulled my leg away forcefully. I don't want money. I just want you. Emily, don't leave me. I'd be lost without you. He crawled after me, hugging my leg again, begging desperately. Chapter 8. I still left, taking only my laptop and tablet, leaving behind all my belongings. There was nothing for me here anymore, neither people nor things. Because this place only reminded me of my former humble self, like a servant. I walked out of the building, but I hadn't gone far when I heard Alex shouting from above. Emily, if you don't come back, I'll fall. I'll be right in front of you. I won't let you leave. Even if I fall, I'll make sure you remember me forever. His voice echoed in the night. I looked up and saw him sitting on the balcony, looking like he might fall at any moment. Suddenly, I remembered my past self. I was bullied and depressed, and I often thought about jumping from the rooftop. Then Alex appeared beside me, sitting in the sunset's glow, saying, High places are for enjoying the best views, not for ending your life. Emily, don't jump. I'll watch the sunset with you. Although he pulled me from one depression into another. Depression. He did save me back then. Don't do anything rash. Wait for me. I walked back. When I got home, he was still on the balcony. The night wind blew his hair and his tear-streaked face looked fragile. He was indeed very handsome, even while crying, with a kind of broken beauty. But I knew he was no longer mine. I walked over, lit a cigarette, and calmly leaned against the railing. You once said that high places are for enjoying the view, not for ending your life. I'll give that advice back to you now. But Emily, without you, what view is there? Alex cried. Soon, the sound of sirens filled the air. His commotion had prompted someone to call the police. Because I returned, his emotions stabilized. After the police mediated, they left, and then Tom and Jessica arrived. After the police left, Jessica pointed at me and shouted, Emily, what kind of person are you? How could you make Alex so miserable? Get out! Alex coldly looked at her and said, Listen, Jessica, I only enjoyed your attention because I didn't like being dumped. But my heart has always belonged to Emily. Alex, why are you doing this? You love me. Emily is just a doormat. You can't love her. Jessica screamed, breaking down. Tom suddenly spoke. Jessica, think about the difference between you and Emily. Since school, you've always been a playful girl with some looks, but now you're still just drifting along. He glanced at me and said, But Emily has always focused on Alex, working diligently. She's a key player at her company, buying a house and car at a young age. What do you have to compare to Emily? Wow! So, I was this impressive? I needed to reevaluate myself. I had been too humble, even letting myself be emotionally manipulated. Now, I realized that when I stood up for myself, not only did Alex treat me differently, but even someone like Tom saw me differently. It turns out, a woman must live with confidence to be respected. Of course, another important thing is that a woman can relax but must not lack capability. Jessica was stunned, but she still wasn't willing to give up. She glared at Alex. Alex, I'll give you one last chance. Are you with me or this worthless person? The worthless one is you. Alex suddenly grabbed the ashtray and shouted. And no one except me can insult Emily. Oh. But before, your friends could treat me like dirt. I sneered inwardly. Jessica was chased away, fleeing in embarrassment. Then Alex coldly said to Tom, You should leave too. Tom wasn't angry. As he left, he said to me, Emily, call me anytime. I can treat you better than Alex. Get out! Alex roared. Tom left. I sighed, standing by the door, lighting a cigarette. Alex, let me go, and let yourself go too. You still want to break up? Alex broke down crying again. He ran to me, throwing himself into my arms, crying uncontrollably. Emily, I really know I was wrong. I took your love for granted all this time. I didn't know how to cherish it. But when I realized you didn't care anymore, do you know how scared I was? Emily, I'm serious. Without you, I'd be lost. Alex hugged me tightly, refusing to let go. On the school rooftop, you saved me once, and just now, I saved you. We're even. So, Alex, even if you want to harm yourself now, I won't look back. After saying that, I pushed him away. This time, I truly left, and he didn't try to harm himself again. Chapter 9. I was nearly forgetting Alex, as it had been over 10 days since we last saw each other. I thought of him today because Tom had blatantly invited me out, sending pictures of his abs, seductive art photos, and various little toys. Otherwise, I wouldn't have thought of Alex at all. I ignored Tom and continued working. In the morning meeting, the boss announced my promotion and raise, which was already in progress. So, tonight there was a celebration dinner, and my colleagues wanted to celebrate for me. Coincidentally, we ran into Tom while singing karaoke. He was attractive, enthusiastic, and fun, very popular. My colleagues were happy, and I didn't want to spoil the mood. After a few drinks, I felt dizzy and was sent to a hotel. But as I slept soundly, I suddenly felt someone kissing me. Instinctively, I thought it was Alex, as I hadn't been with any other man. Alex, stop it. It's Tom. I heard Tom's magnetic voice. So, I quickly sat up and saw Tom, half naked, kneeling in front of me. I didn't know if he could treat me better than Alex, but he certainly knew how to seduce. At that moment, the hotel door opened. I saw Alex walk in with a key card. I didn't know where he got it. He stared at Tom and me, then suddenly smiled. "It's okay, Emily. I'm not angry, really. Go ahead with him. Consider it payback for Jessica. I'll accept it. But just this once. After all, nothing happened between me and Jessica. I'll let you and Tom be together, just this once, okay?" Tears filled Alex's eyes as he even closed the door for us. "It's not what you think." I didn't need to explain to him, but I really didn't know why Tom was in the room. Maybe my colleagues, thinking we were a couple, sent us here when I was drunk. "You two are like this, and you still say it's not?" Alex cried. "Emily, why are you doing this to me? I know I was wrong." I shook my head and laughed. I suddenly feel like I should have some fun with Tom. At least he's proactive. And you? Every time I kissed you, you couldn't wait to brush your teeth. Every time we were intimate, you sighed. How much do you despise me? Emily, no, it's not like that. Alex pointed at Tom. He taught me. He said if I acted cold enough, you'd always chase after me, Emily. I just wanted you to treat me better. Tom didn't deny it. Instead, he smiled, looking at Alex like he was an idiot. But he got up and put on his coat. I've figured it out. A woman like Emily will only be foolish once in her life. Alex, you couldn't keep her, and I certainly can't either. He walked to the door, then said, "By the way, Alex, I've had my eye on Emily for a while. I always hoped you'd break up so I could step in because good women are hard to find. I'm tired of playing around and want to settle down with a good person." Then he left. That night, because I was drunk, I had no energy to deal with anything. I slept through the night, and Alex cried through the night. The next day, I went to work, thinking Alex wouldn't show up again. But at noon, he came with many lunchboxes. Different dishes were laid out in front of me. He carefully explained. "Food outside isn't clean. From now on, I'll cook for you daily. I've quit my job to take care of the house while you work." I glanced at the dishes, frowning. "Alex, I'm allergic to celery. Don't you know that? And these dishes, if I remember correctly, are all recipes Jessica posted on social media. You learned them for her, didn't you? Now you're making them for me. Don't you find that ridiculous?" Alex stood frozen, unable to say a word. Then, under everyone's gaze, he knelt in front of me, hugging my leg. "Emily, I really know I was wrong. Please give me another chance." Such a proud person, kneeling in front of everyone. But I knew, one should never look back. I called security to remove him. All afternoon, my colleagues discussed the incident, and my boss talked to me. I told my boss about the past years, how I once loved him deeply. My boss joked that if there was something else in your bones, it would turn into bone cancer, making me laugh. After work, I went out with my colleagues. Then I saw a crowd in the lobby, people whispering and recording with their phones. I walked over and saw Alex kneeling in the middle of the lobby. He held up a sign that read, "Emily, marry me. Emily, your boyfriend is pretty good. Don't stay mad. He didn't do anything that bad. Yeah, Emily, where else would you find such a handsome man?" My colleagues tried to persuade me. Left with no choice, I walked up to him and said, "We'll talk at home." He quickly stood up, tidied his clothes and hair, then happily held my arm. He told everyone, "Please bless us. I'm Alex, and she's Emily. I'm her husband." He was emotionally blackmailing me. But I didn't want to make a scene. Back home, the house was spotless. He clearly cleaned every day. Our photos were everywhere, although I remembered he hated displaying them. Even my phone wallpaper was of him, while his was a photo of him, Tom, and Jessica. I knew, if he could, he would have used a photo of him and Jessica. "Emily, I was picking a ring that day to propose. I know I shouldn't have asked Jessica, but your fingers are similar in size, so I asked her." Alex's hands trembled as he took out 2 ring boxes from his bag. In his agitation, the rings fell. He knelt to find them, managing to spot them under the coffee table. He almost lay on the floor to grab them, but he pushed the rings further. "Why?" Alex cried. "Why do I push things further away when I want to grasp them? Why? Just like you and me." I sighed, walked to the other side, picked up the rings, and tossed them on the coffee table. "Alex, do you think I'd wear a ring Jessica tried on?" I asked. Alex lay on the floor, crying. "Let's break up." I finally said those 3 words, feeling incredibly relieved. "We should have ended this long ago, let each other go. But I can't let you go. You're my life." Alex cried. I looked at him and said, "Don't come to my company anymore, or I'll change jobs. And let's not meet again." It seemed I no longer had the energy to love anyone in this lifetime. Chapter 10. Another half-month passed without seeing Alex, and I got promoted. I now had my own office and a team. My boss treated me even better. He even mentioned that many headhunters would likely contact me in the future, but he hoped I could stay with the company for at least 5 years. I agreed. My life had entered a new phase. A confident and realistic person may not be liked by everyone, but at least they will like themselves. And I really liked my current state. There was no need to think about how to please others or worry about when others might leave me. I thought my life would continue this way. Until one day, I saw Alex again. He showed up at our celebration dinner. He was wearing a suit that looked like it was meant for a wedding, looking incredibly handsome, with a smile that made him seem like the happiest man in the world. I stood up, not knowing how to handle him. "Emily, don't worry. I just wanted to see you one last time. Look, you're wearing a dress, and I'm in a suit. Can we take a picture together?" He held up one finger. "Just one photo, as a keepsake. I don't want to have any regrets. Just one photo, and then I won't bother you anymore. Okay?" I walked over and stood beside him, letting a colleague take our picture. He took the phone, looked at the photo, and seemed satisfied. He then set it as his wallpaper. "Go back to your dinner, Emily. I'm leaving now." He smiled at me. I nodded and turned back towards the table. "Emily!" One of my colleagues suddenly shouted. I turned around and saw Alex pull out a knife and, without hesitation, harm himself. I rushed over, but it was too late. I could only press my hands against his wound, but the warm blood kept seeping through my fingers. He looked at me, smiling, reaching out to touch my face. "Emily, I wasn't lying. Without you, I'm nothing. You're my life. I'll wait for you in the next life, and I promise I won't let you suffer." He was gone, blooming into the most beautiful flower in his final moments. End.